It's Friday. It's Mark Pyers. And it's Real Talk. The road today, looking for another way to ease my mind and help my living. It's Real Talk. It's the daily variety show. Mark Pyers' Real Talk. I'm here to connect with you, to amplify your current state, and I'm here with you on Friday night. Day 558 in a row of the Mark Pyers Real Talk Show, and I just want to welcome you to the program and hope you head over to the YouTube channel. Sigger, how are you, my friend? Roger Stone was released, of course. Look, I'm going to release the stoner, okay? I've got to get him out of the jail cell. What was the story with that anyway, Sigger? Something was going to happen, right? Anyway, he's out, apparently. Look, I've got the most ridiculous episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show. I think I have to call it quits after this one, or at least this is the end of season 1. By season 1, we'll call it week 1. I literally did all this in about a week and a half, okay? And it's 10 episodes. And what I'm going to do is lay it out as an actual movie. So it's going to start with stuff like this, where I'm going to introduce it. And then in between, maybe Hammerlin will come out and rip the lid off. Maybe after Poison. We'll see about that one. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. We're going to play some music tonight because Mary Ann is not feeling up to going live and doing a nice 2-3 hour show like we typically do. She asked if she can get some rest and come out tomorrow, which to me is fine. I'd rather her be at her best. So we're going to do that. And that gives me the opportunity to play you what I cannot wait to play for you. Shout out, let me know you're on, because I don't want to play this until we have enough people on to see it. This may only get a chance to play once, guys. This will get ripped down by the people here at Fakey Facebook. All right, I'm just letting you know right now. They're going to knock this off. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All I'm doing, though, just so you know, I'm going to put a little preface on this. All I'm doing is playing something that is a real clip. This is a real clip that exists. Actually, it's 2 different clips, just like I've been doing with all the Trump clips. I am just highlighting the hypocrisy. This is what I'm here to do on the Real Talk program, is to highlight the hypocrisy so everybody can see the truth. They don't let you see it year to year, election to election. So yesterday, if you remember, we did the whole Trump wall, the Great Wall of Trump. It's my wall, okay? And we went back over the history of 2 Democratic presidents, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Both had an interest in clamping down on border security. And Obama even built a fence. He was very proud of that fence, which we went over yesterday as part of the clip. But today, it's Don Lemon's turn. That's right. This is the clip. It's on here. I have sour Don Lemon, but really it's how sour is that Don Lemon? That's what this is going to be titled when we put it out on YouTube tomorrow. Without further ado, here we go. I'll probably play this more than once. It's a long one, guys, but it's well worth watching. Don Lemon, or shall I say, how sour is that Don Lemon?
Hammerlin, Jamison, live from the studio. Donald Trump is back with episode 10. How sour is that Don Lemon? Thank you for joining me on episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show. That's right. Today, we're going to continue our journey, destroying fake news. Today, we're going to look at CNN. Don Lemon. That's right, we call him Con Lemonhead here, but I have an old clip that came across my desk I wanted to share with you guys. Give me your perspectives, okay? Take a look at this.
It got some, many on the political right, wondering why the so-called liberal media wasn't talking about other problems in the black community.
That's interesting, Lemon. Why? Why would you say? This is 2013, by the way.
The outrage that I have is in the lack of really the national attention to what is an epidemic of crime in the black community, committed largely by blacks.
These are the same stats we're talking about now, and everyone calls us racist for bringing up.
Why aren't we talking about it? Good question. Actually, that's not a good question. We've talked about it many times on this show.
You have?
And on CNN.
You see, he could tell he was lying because he took a longer breath.
So that's the reason I didn't want to discuss at length crime in the African-American community, or how to fix other ills that seem to be plaguing the community in general. But now that the jury has reached its verdict, one that everyone must accept, It's time now for some tough love on the subject.
Some tough love from the lemon. Sounds good to me.
Someone on another network got the chance to go first because I couldn't go during the week. I'm only here on the weekend, so listen to this.
The reason there is so much violence and chaos is the disintegration of the African American family.
He's got a point.
He does?
In fact, he's got more than a point.
Wow. Don Lemon agrees with Bill O'Reilly. Who knew that was coming?
Drugs hustling gangs. Nobody forces them to do that. Again, it is a personal decision.
He is right about that too. But in my estimation, he doesn't go far enough.
Oh, Don Lemon's a mathematician now. Yes, I'd like to hear your estimation.
Black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing.
Here we go. Con Lemonhead, 2013, 5 ways to fix the black community. Let's hear it.
Here's number 5. Pull up your pants.
Pants on the ground. Pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Number 4 now is the N-word.
Oh my. Here we go.
I understand poetic license, but consider this. I hosted a special on the N-word, suggesting that black people stop using it, and that entertainers stop deluding yourselves or themselves and others that you're somehow taking the word back.
I am curious what people think of that comment.
A lot of African Americans took offense to that too.
Oh, he answered it.
Now number 3. Respect where you live.
Is this a special message to the people in Chippy, Chaz? What are they calling themselves this week? I think it's a message to Chap.
Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities.
Imagine if they played this over the loudspeakers in Chap.
I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering.
Here comes a cheap shot at his community.
I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away.
Wow, stereotype much?
Just being honest here.
Interesting. When did you decide to get rid of the honesty policy, Lemon?
Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids they're acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English.
What Don Lemon is saying right now would be considered racist in 2020.
A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year.
Wait, a year?
A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year.
Just graduating, you make 33% more per year.
A college graduate makes $51,000 a year.
That stat is less impressive to me. It costs like $50,000 a year for college. A college graduate makes $51,000?
Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money.
Yes, $1 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to the people of the United States of America. Not so much for Trump. I've got billions, okay?
And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should.
Words you will never hear Don Lemonhead speak again.
Especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers.
Look, can't you see, this is the point. Nothing ever changes. It's always the same. It was 72% in 2013 when Obama was the president.
And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues.
Yesterday you saw that Sleep Sofa Joe was the one that put them in prison. And Don Lemon remarked how it's a problem in 2013 when Obama was in office. So what's the problem when Trump wants to fix it? Anybody? Bueller?
Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior.
Is rioting in the streets acceptable behavior? It's a good question, Don Lemonhead. What do you think we should do, Don?
Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace.
I embrace the Sugar Hill Gang. To the hip-hop, the hibbity-hibbity hip-hop, to toppity, don't stop. The boogie-boogie bang-bang, sugary-bug-bug.
A culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned. Thug and reprehensible behavior. A culture that is making a lot of people rich. Just not you.
The time CNN spoke the truth. Wow, it's almost surreal, right? It's surreal to see CNN speaking truth. I kind of like it. How do we get them to speak the truth always? So what happened to Don Lemon in 2020?
This is the thing, Don. You know, black people need to hold other black people accountable.
Okay, before we get started, that's what Don Lemonhead was doing in the 2013 clip we started with. Okay, watch.
I said this the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement. If anything is going to change, we ourselves need to look at our own communities and look at each other and say, this thing cannot go down.
I'm sorry, isn't that exactly what Don said?
And this is what I'm saying. It's about who is controlling the narrative. It's got to be all Black Lives Matter.
That sounds right. What does Don have to say?
Here's what I have to say.
All right, Spin Doctor. Let's see what you got here.
The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, black communities, then start that movement with that name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about.
I'm soured by the hypocrisy. It's like eating a lemon. Oh.
So if you're talking about, if someone started a movement that said, cancer matters, and then someone comes in and said, why aren't you talking about HIV? It's not the same thing. We're talking about cancer.
I think Lemonhead doesn't grasp the concept of apples and oranges. If it's 100 people and you're there for all cancer matters, then it would be somebody who stands up and said, I have prostate cancer. And they would say, sit down, buddy. We just said all cancer matters.
So the Black Lives Matter movement is about police brutality and injustice in that manner, not about what's happening in black neighborhoods. There are people who are working on that issue, and if you want to start that issue, why don't you start it?
We have a hypocrite warning.
It is about police brutality. That should never be accepted. Yeah. I am not saying that that's not it, but there's more there. Okay. And when I look at, if they have more on their agenda, we need to ask them about what else is on that agenda.
Right. Don't you just love how uncomfortable Terry Crews made Don Lemonhead? It was hilarious. You could see he got very uncomfortable when he realized he couldn't control Terry Crews. I wonder, could we get Terry Crews on the Trump team? We should look into it. Look, I will see you tomorrow on the next Trump show. Have a good night.
Wow. That could be the best one yet, guys, but extremely controversial, obviously, because it has to do with race. Now, this is the thing I have to say about that. If you can't have a conversation about current events, race-related, whatever, then you are not in a free country. And at the end of the day, gangsta, what's going on, my friend? At the end of the day, that is truth right there that you just saw. I draw some comedy onto the truth. But in 2013, Don Lemon, or as Bulldag likes to call him, Dong Lemon, wound up doing that. I didn't even play the whole thing, guys. I only cut out some of it. There's a lot there. But the top 5 ways to fix, and then it's 2013. Nothing gets done under Obama's watch. He's there till 2016. That's 3 more years where he's there on his high horse. First time I've ever heard him sound conservative. I don't know about you guys, but everything he said there is like, okay, you want to keep your neighborhoods clean, and then this is the opposite of what's going on out there. That's why I have these funny jests where Trump's like, was this filmed yesterday? Because it's still the same thing. When Joe Biden in 1993 saying that the problem is young black America and we need to put them in jail, he puts them all in jail. It's his crime bill. And everybody wants to now put him in, oh, he's the guy. He's looking out for us. No, he's looking out for his family, putting you all in jail over the last 30 years. You're wondering why my cousin went to jail for that infraction. They threw him in jail for that little thing? Yeah, because that was the plan. Didn't you see that one? Guys, I'm putting together the full 10 now. I almost rushed through to get 10 done because I wanted to be able to make a 10. I want to make a full 10 episode. It's going to be roughly an hour long, okay? It is a full episode. So even though I've been dropping what I call Donald Trump Show episode 1 through 10, it's going to be episode 1, all right? And it's going to be all 10, make up episode 1, and in between there's some dialogue. Hammerlin Jamison comes out. Maybe Dick Facce is in between to try to throw a little color in there. That's a show, guys. That is a show. That's an hour-long show that we should be doing every single week. I'll still do the Real Talk thing every day, but I should be doing once a week, and I can't do this alone. I can't do what I just did. Over the last week and a half, drop 10 power episodes, essentially. I mean, I could. You guys want to support the show, go to patreon.com like my man Sig did and Michael and support the program, because if you do, the more you support this program, the better the chances are that I could sit at home and work from home and create face swaps for this program. And I'm sure I told you guys, but you could go to markpyersrealtalk.com and order a face swap for yourself. You want to have a face swap sent to a friend? I've had a couple of orders for birthdays. Thomas, happy birthday, Donald Trump. Look, we're going to win big league with your help, Thomas. I really appreciate your support. Tell your wife that I'd love to come by. Melania wants to bring a steak over. Just don't let her use your toilet. She has a Slovenian thing going on. Okay, I'm just letting you know. John, what's up, buddy? Oh, my goodness. Gangsta, it's going to be ridiculous. I'm dropping in the next 3 or 4 days, just so you know. So, John, I owe you a song. But I thought what would be pretty cool, especially tonight's a good night. You tell me what you like. I'm going to play a bunch of originals tonight. And you tell me which one you like best, and we're going to send it to your friend, okay? Because I'm an in-the-moment guy. You know, it's 2004, 2005. And I was entangled with a guy from Jive Records. And I'm working on signing a deal. And he sets me up with this guy in New York. This guy in New York, Nick. I won't say everything. So Nick and I start working together. And Nick is hooked in with Alicia Keys' people. So he gets us a meeting. And I sit in with this guy, G. G's a phenomenal guitar player in his own right. Amazing guy. Loved his energy. And I met this guy, Dave, also. This all comes together. I'll tell you later. Dave is my connection to her. So Dave I meet when I meet G. And I find out later Dave set up the meeting for Nick and G and me. So Dave is involved in everything. I love Dave. He's one of my favorite people on this planet. And so I go into this meeting with my guitar. I played 2 songs. I played You, and then I played Gabrielle. And Gabrielle, if you guys have heard, I randomly played it twice here. It's the angriest song in the history of time, okay? Here's the thing you need to understand. If you are in a relationship with a singer-songwriter and you do something wrong to that singer-songwriter, like cheat on them when they're 19 years old, they are going to write the most amazingly angry song in the history of time about you. And it exists. It exists. If you go over to Spotify, you can find the song. It's called Gabrielle. It's the greatest song ever. It's got a rap in it. And, you know, I'm kind of like, it's a thing that I feel really, I'm kind of slighted by. Because I remember when my wife and I were getting married, she goes, what are you going to do when we have kids, assuming we have kids, they're going to find that song one day? Like, I shelved that entire album, guys. I got 700 copies over here on the shelf, probably 500, 600, 700 copies. I don't want them out there because of that one song. My kids now it's 11, 10, and almost 5 next week. I don't want that song out there for them to hear, but it's fire. And the thing is, I remember my wife saying something interesting. She said, you know, people are going to think you hate women when they hear that song. They're like, no, I don't hate women. I hate that woman. I hate that one woman. And I remember I used to go and play at clubs. And every time I'd get like halfway through the show, you'd start hear people would call out for it. Hey, Mark, play Gabrielle. I'd be like, no. And then the girls would start screaming it out. Yeah, play Gabrielle. And I'm like, geez, sometimes the girls wanted to hear it more than the guys. You know why? Because everybody's been screwed over by somebody. And it is the essential song for someone getting screwed over. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll play it for you guys. I'm not sure I could do it. Did you guys see episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show? This is essentially the most controversial episode I've created to date. It's called How Sour Is That Don Lemon? And I just dropped it. It looks like we have more people on right now, though. So I'm curious. If you guys want to see it again, I'm happy to play it back to back. It is 10 minutes long, but it is fire. All 10 minutes. And it's meant to shine a light on the hypocrisy of mainstream media. And if you haven't seen the whole thing, somebody shoot me a message and let me know to replay it. But for the moment, let's do something else. I'm going to play you a quick song. Oh, guys, I'll tell you what, that episode, it's a great one to finish off episode 1, like the full first episode of a series of the Donald Trump Show. That's a sour lemon. That's right. Don Lemon. I said, look, we call him Con Lemonhead. But then Dagger said we call him Dong Lemon. I was like, that's even better. So let me play you guys something. I'm going to play you something you know, and then we'll go to something of mine, because I want to play you something of mine. All right, guys? I'm feeling that tonight. A little something of mine on the Siggers in the house. I love it. So let's start with something here. I got an idea of what to start with here. Oh, man, I meant to check out Night Moves, and I didn't get a chance to. Let's go this. All right, here we go. All right, something to start off with that everybody sort of knows. Dad Lemonade. Dog lime. Yes, that's right. You know, it's funny. Yeah, Dagger said, well, how did Don Lemonhead not get fired for making all those old racist comments? It's very interesting. Because the hypocrisy says you can say whatever you want and this is a weird thing. You could say whatever you want as long as there's someone sitting at the helm that fits the narrative. You had a black president at the time when he said that. That was okay. Now with Donald Trump as president, if you say those things, you're racist. You're considered racist. It's a very, very weird thing, and this is why we have the Donald Trump show. You guys need to understand what's happening by November. Right now, there's no fair analysis of the two candidates. You got one guy, Sleep Sofa Joe Basement. That's right. I'm Joe Basement. I'm going to just change my name to Joe Basement. Come on down to Sleep Sofa Joe's. Look, we got all kinds of different sleep sofas. You can get one in velvet. That's right. That's the one I sleep on at home with Jill. And sometimes, Joe, wake up, Joe. He's always sleeping, guys. He's always sleeping. That's what scares me most about the sleep sofa. You don't want to fall asleep on the sleep sofa. Well, let's go back.
Hammerlin, Jamison, live from the studio. Donald Trump is back with episode...
Do you guys want to see it? Who wants to see episode 10? I went like this. Listen, this is officially going to be the end of the Donald Trump series for at least the first episode. I'm going to make a series out of this, guys, okay? And they're going to be an hour long each one, and it's going to be fire. Oh, you're awesome, gangsta. I honestly think what's going to happen here is this. I hope I can keep up the creativity on these. And if you guys keep sending me good stuff, I found this one again today, but I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it, honestly. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I keep just finding new pieces of content in order to bring me to a new storyline. At the end of the day, what I want people to understand is you're not getting the truth right now, so that's what I was hoping for Marianne tonight, but she wasn't feeling well. So tomorrow, she'll be on. We're going to be rocking it out with her all night to just get into what she's been working on. And again, I want to share one piece of criticism I have on mainstream media, the government on both sides. For the last 3-4 years, they've been talking about meddling in elections. That Russia meddled in elections, that China meddles in elections. Why is it that there's no hypocrite warning when Facebook, Google, YouTube all censor in order to affect and to manipulate this election we're about to get into? What is going on here? It's hypocrisy at the highest level, and this is happening in our backyard. It's not China, it's not Russia. If it was, the whole world would be talking about it. Well, assume Facebook is Russia, assume Google and YouTube are China, they're China, and you go after them. And you say enough is enough. You let everything be free and out there for people to take everything in? I don't understand this. Why won't you let people understand what's really going on and see it all and use their judgment? I know why. Because if they actually saw the truth, they'd say you guys are nuts. And everything you're doing is trying to destroy America. Literally. Destroying the freedom that we all loved and grew up appreciating and valuing. I saw the most amazing clip in the world today. It's a gentleman who was in Cuba. He escaped from Cuba. His entire speech today said, this is what they did. Castro went in and he was like, hey, I'm a socialist. Yeah, you're going to get to keep land. Yeah, we're going to do this and it's going to be great. Within a couple of years, they got rid of the police. They instilled their entire military was them. It was communism. This guy's saying, my father came over from Spain. And he's like, this doesn't look right to me. All these promises, you're going to get to keep land. It's going to be so much better with us under power and free education, free this, free that. It's communism. And at the end of the day, when everybody's here, somebody else is in charge and no one's going to work because what's the benefit if everybody gets the same? We're already sort of there. I mean, I still don't understand how you work hard, they take more from the people that work hard. That I don't understand at all. When people can't pay, that's one thing, but to go say, we're gonna charge you more because you worked harder. No, how about you do a better job with your fiscal responsibilities? Because if you look at the Constitution, you're not supposed to take my freaking labor, what I work for. It's actually illegal for them to take our income. That's a tax they're not allowed to have. It's unconstitutional. Not illegal, it's unconstitutional. But every time people try to fight back, they go to jail. You tell me, how do you get away with it? I don't think there's a way, but if there was, I'd like to hear it. Because I don't like sending that check every single year. It's ridiculous. To work that hard and then to have them take all of that, it's garbage. So that's just my philosophy on it, guys. Look, obviously we all feel different. It's crazy that there's no down the middle anymore. I was there. I was there for 400 days until I saw the State of the Union address and I saw the hypocrisy and I saw people sitting like this when you heard very positive things going on for the country. I'm a positivity guy. When I see positive things going on, I want to stand and applaud. And when I see selfish people that are, just because they're Democrats and they don't like the guy, they go like this when 7 million people come off of food stamps. They go like this when you hear the words lowest unemployment in history. Lowest black unemployment, lowest Latino, Hispanic. They go like this. Instead of saying that's amazing. You know why? That is their voter pool. That's 7 million people that they kept oppressed. Just, you need to grab from the deep. Don Lemonhead just went in and explained that it was a 72% fatherless ratio, whatever it is. 72% of women don't have a husband for the kids. That was 2013. If Obama had 3 more years to do something about that, and Biden, and did nothing about it, why would you ever give him a chance again? They did nothing. And then look at the facts of the Jail Reform Act. Look at the colleges and universities. HBCUs, is that what it's called? First time, or Obama cut off funding, Trump brings it back. Why would he cut off funding? I don't get that one. And I think it was $250 billion that was inserted into inner cities in order to help them create new futures. I think this is an important thing. When someone campaigns on getting your vote because they're going to do something and then they do nothing, time after time after time after time, you have to step back for a second and look at the other conservative people that have the same skin color as you and see what they're saying. Because I think you guys are too much concerned and consumed with race and not consumed with the issues. The entire election has nothing to do with what's actually going on in the world anymore. It's not about what someone's going to do for you anymore. It's either hate Trump or like Trump. That's it. It's a weird world we're living in, guys. It used to be, well, I'm going to vote for the guy who's against abortion. And this guy said, I'm going to vote for the one who's going, hey, look, if you want to do it, you can do it. You know, like, it's not about that. Has anybody asked about any of the, what's your platform? Like, what are you going to platform on, Joe? He can't even speak. First of all, I'm a little worried. Like, how does that guy even, every day, it doesn't get better. I try to tell people, that does not get better. Whew. I'm just saying, it does not get better, people. So we have 10 episodes of the Donald Trump Show. I'm very proud of the work. These things happen in the moment for me. I don't plan them out. I didn't write any of them. I just went and found a video of Donald Trump from that day, found a clip to work with on each of these things, and I went to town. It's the first time I've done it this way, because if you guys have been watching the show, what you've seen me do is just face swaps every day where I'm playing every character. And I could do that. I could play the Joe Biden. I could do Don Lemon. Look, Terry, look, my perspective on this. Like, I could do Don Lemon, but that's not funny. It's not about that anymore. It's funny to do Trump, but you need to also see that these people really said these things, not me saying them as a face swap. Don Lemon really said those words. Extremely controversial words. If you heard anybody else saying them, especially in 2020, even if Don Lemon said that right now in 2020, it would be a big problem. People just have a hard time hearing anything. It's a very sensitive world we're living in. Paul, what's up, my brother? I think now that Paul's here, guys, I got to play it for you again. This is officially, Paul, are you ready, buddy? This is episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show. We officially, Marianne can't come on to the show tonight because she's not feeling well. And I want her feeling great so she can spend a couple hours with us if possible. So I told her, tomorrow night's great too. So we're going to have her tomorrow night, which will be really cool. And so basically, here we go. We're going to go live. Anybody who's on any other platform, head to YouTube. That's the platform of choice. And we're going to play episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show. And remember, guys, this is just fun. And you have to understand something here, okay? There's words used in this and perspective used in this that is extremely controversial right now. But all I'm doing is taking a clip and poking fun at the hypocrisy as Donald Trump. So keep that in mind. I don't want anybody saying, oh, that's a racist thing to play that clip. No, it's not. Don Lemon said this. I'm just playing it for you to hear. Okay? So you watch it. You tell me what you think. And again, no offense meant to you. This is just the truth being put out for this on the stage for people to see as it really is. Not sugar-coated the way that CNN sugarcoats things now, which you see at the end of the clip, by the way. Keep this in mind. As you watch this, just listen to how passionate this young man is. Okay? I'm talking about Don Lemon. I swear, this guy, I'm pretty sure he's not the way he sounds. He's not the same guy. They got something in his ear, and they tell him what to say now because hypocrisy alert. I'm just saying. Watch this. Ready? Here we go. Episode 10. And just so you know, this is officially going to become one episode. We're going to make 10 of these. Okay? And we're going to make a full season of the Donald Trump Show. And I don't know. You guys got to help me, but we're going to get it out there before the election. Here we go. This is how the world sees what's really going on, but with a little bit of comedy, okay?
Hammerlin, Jamison, live from the studio. Donald Trump is back with episode 10. How sour is that Don Lemon? Thank you for joining me on episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show. That's right. Today, we're going to continue our journey, destroying fake news. Today, we're going to look at CNN. Don Lemon. That's right, we call him Con Lemonhead here, but I have an old clip that came across my desk I wanted to share with you guys. So give me your perspectives, okay? Take a look at this.
It got some, many on the political right, wondering why the so-called liberal media wasn't talking about other problems in the black community.
That's interesting, Lemon. Why? Why would you say? This is 2013, by the way.
The outrage that I have is in the lack of really the national attention to what is an epidemic of crime in the black community committed largely by blacks.
These are the same stats we're talking about now, and everyone calls us racist for bringing up.
Why aren't we talking about it? Good question. Actually, that's not a good question. We've talked about it many times on this show.
You have?
And on CNN.
You see, he could tell he was lying because he took a longer breath.
So that's the reason I didn't want to discuss at length crime in the African-American community or how to fix other ills that seem to be plaguing the community in general. But now that the jury has reached its verdict, one that everyone must accept, it's time now for some tough love on the subject.
Some tough love from the lemon. Sounds good to me.
Someone on another network got the chance to go first because I couldn't go during the week. I'm only here on the weekend, so listen to this.
The reason there is so much violence and chaos is the disintegration of the African American family.
He's got a point.
He does?
In fact, he's got more than a point.
Wow. Don Lemon agrees with Bill O'Reilly. Who knew that was coming?
Drugs hustling gangs. Nobody forces them to do that. Again, it is a personal decision.
He is right about that too. But in my estimation, he doesn't go far enough.
Oh, Don Lemon's a mathematician now. Yes, I'd like to hear your estimation.
Black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing.
Here we go. Con Lemonhead, 2013, 5 ways to fix the black community. Let's hear it.
Here's number 5. Pull up your pants.
Pants on the ground. Pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Number 4 now is the N-word.
Oh my. Here we go.
I understand poetic license, but consider this. I hosted a special on the N-word, suggesting that black people stop using it, and that entertainers stop deluding yourselves or themselves and others that you're somehow taking the word back.
I am curious what people think of that comment.
A lot of African Americans took offense to that too.
Oh, he answered it.
Now number 3, respect where you live.
Is this a special message to the people in Chippy, Chaz? What are they calling themselves this week? I think it's a message to Chap.
Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities.
Imagine if they played this over the loudspeakers in Chap.
I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering.
Here comes a cheap shot at his community.
I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away.
Wow, stereotype much?
Just being honest here.
Interesting. When did you decide to get rid of the honesty policy, Leman?
Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English.
What Don Lemon is saying right now would be considered racist in 2020.
A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year.
Wait, a year?
A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year.
Just graduating, you make 33% more per year.
A college graduate makes $51,000 a year.
That stat is less impressive to me. It costs like $50,000 a year for college. A college graduate makes $51,000?
Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money.
Yes, $1 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to the people of the United States of America. Not so much for Trump. I've got billions, okay?
And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should.
Words you will never hear Don Lemonhead speak again.
Especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers.
Look, can't you see, this is the point. Nothing ever changes. It's always the same. It was 72% in 2013 when Obama was the president.
And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues.
Yesterday you saw that Sleep Sofa Joe was the one that put them in prison. And Don Lemon remarked how it's a problem in 2013 when Obama was in office. So what's the problem when Trump wants to fix it? Anybody? Bueller?
Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior.
Is rioting in the streets acceptable behavior? It's a good question, Don Lemonhead. What do you think we should do, Don?
Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace.
I embrace the Sugar Hill Gang. To the hip-hop, to hibbity-hibbity-hibbity, hip-hop, to toppity, don't stop. To boogie-boogie, bang-bang, sugary-bug-bug.
A culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned. Thug and reprehensible behavior. A culture that is making a lot of people rich. Just not you.
The time CNN spoke the truth. Wow, it's almost surreal, right? It's surreal to see CNN speaking truth. I kind of like it. How do we get them to speak the truth always? So what happened to Don Lemon in 2020?
This is the thing, Don. You know, black people need to hold other black people accountable.
Okay, before we get started, that's what Don Lemonhead was doing in the 2013 clip we started with. Okay, watch.
I said this the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement. If anything is going to change, we ourselves need to look at our own communities and look at each other and say, this thing cannot go down.
I'm sorry, isn't that exactly what Don said?
And then this is what I'm saying. It's about who is controlling the narrative. It's got to be all Black Lives Matter.
That sounds right. What does Don have to say?
Here's what I have to say.
All right, Spin Doctor. Let's see what you got here.
The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, black communities, then start that movement with that name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about.
I'm soured by the hypocrisy. It's like eating a lemon. Oh.
So if you're talking about, if someone started a movement that said, cancer matters, and then someone comes in and said, why aren't you talking about HIV? It's not the same thing. We're talking about cancer.
I think Lemonhead doesn't grasp the concept of apples and oranges. If it's 100 people and you're there for all cancer matters, then it would be somebody who stands up and said, I have prostate cancer. And they would say, sit down, buddy. We just said all cancer matters.
So the Black Lives Matter movement is about police brutality and injustice in that manner, not about what's happening in black neighborhoods. There are people who are working on that issue, and if you want to start that issue, why don't you start it?
We have a hypocrite warning.
It is about police brutality. That should never be accepted. Yeah. I am not saying that that's not it, but there's more there. Okay. And when I look if they have more on their agenda, we need to ask them about what else is on that agenda.
Right. Don't you just love how uncomfortable Terry Crews made Don Lemonhead? It was hilarious. You could see he got very uncomfortable when he realized he couldn't control Terry Crews. I wonder, could we get Terry Crews on the Trump team? We should look into it. Look, I will see you tomorrow on the next Trump show. Have a good night.
It's Hammerlin, Jamison, and it's HammerTime. That's right. Look, I'm here every single night on the Real Talk program to rip the lid off the fake news. That's right. It's HammerTime. A little ham, jam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. That's right, people. Look, check me out every single night on HammerTime. Hammerlin, Jamison. We're ripping the lid off the fake news, but not before we drop the hammer. We're dropping the hammer, and the old mustache is already fallen off, so it may not be a long Hammerlin episode today, but how? I gotta tell you, people, I was just watching this episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show, and oh my goodness, truth blind in my eyes. I'm telling you, having a hard time seeing right now. A little bit of truth coming at me. Look, we're ripping the lid off of it, right? We gotta rip the lid off the fake news. If you hear a Lemonhead coming out saying stuff like, oh, look, Black Lives Matter is only about those 9 lives that were killed last year that were not armed and they were killed by police officers. That's what the entire movement and why we're taking down statues and why we're talking about knocking down Mount Rushmore. Like, this is insanity, people. Look, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to destroy the sanctity of America. And Hammerlin's not going to let that stand. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the hammer and rip the lid off the fake news. So I hope you'll tune in. Tomorrow we have Maryam Hanade coming in to, of course, rip the lid off with HammerTime. And we're going to get into some stuff there, people. Just remember, you could tip all Hammerlin over down the bottom there. It's the Hammerlin Hot Tips. Just a FYI, I buy a lot of Jamison whiskey with the HammerTime hot tips, and that helps me pass time here in quarantine. HammerLin, HammerTime, we're ripping the lid off the fake news. I hope you're having a good night. And just remember, people, if you're not doing things right,
Hammerlin, Jamison, live from the studio. Donald Trump is back with episode 10.
Trump may be back, but we're not playing that episode right now. What we're going to do, actually, I wanted to share with you, because we couldn't get it on last night, episode 9. That's right. You just saw 10. Let's play episode 9 real quickly, and you guys can see what you missed yesterday. Well, we did do at least one episode. I put that in the wrong spot. That's not a good thing. Let's see if we can move it over here. How about that? Hammer Jam. Hold on a second, people. I guess I put it back where I had it the first time. That's not a good thing either. Let's put it where I need it to, which is right there. Let's see. Bull Dagger says that, how corrupt is the WHO? Let's see the story real quick while we're waiting for this to switch. Hammer Jam ripping the lid off the fake news. Let's see what we got. Did this work? I hope so. Yes, it did. There we go. We got episode 9. Check it out, people. It's Hammerlin Jamison live from the studio. Donald Trump with episode 9 of the Donald Trump.
Thank you very much for joining me. Episode 9 of the Donald Trump Show. That's right. We're going to get into it today. I've got a lot to share with you. Border wall. Everybody's always saying, Trump, when are you going to build the border wall? We're building the wall. But they gave me such a hard time. Such a hard time.
The President of the United States, having failed to get Mexico to pay for his ineffective, unnecessary border wall.
We'll get back to Schumer and Pelosi after some other clips. I think you guys may like these others, and we'll put it all into perspective. It's Trump Show. I'm just going to show you how other presidents felt about immigration.
The bill before us will certainly do some good.
Well, let's start with that. He says he wants to do some good. Let's see what's next.
It will authorize some badly needed funding for better fences and better security along our borders.
Holy cow. Obama wanted to put up a fence. Nobody cares. I want to build a wall stronger. They have a problem with that. We're talking Three Little Pigs, people. He wants to use a fence. I'm talking about a wall that the big bad wolf can't blow down.
The fence is now basically complete.
Wow, Barack, you got 5 years out of that fence. Good job. We had to start building an actual wall because what you did was crap.
Maybe they'll need a moat.
Or maybe they'll need a wall.
Maybe they want alligators in the moat.
Now that one I have to give Barack. That was hilarious. Still, I'll take the wall.
Every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
Bill Clinton says illegal aliens and everybody applauds and they get behind him. But Trump does, and they call him a xenophobe and a racist.
The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers.
You see, they're always with you when they need the vote. But as soon as they get in office, they turn on you. Get used to it, people. It's the way it's always been with the Democrats.
That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more.
Can you believe that?
By deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before.
Maybe I should hire Bill to say his words / my words on the campaign trail.
I voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence.
Wait, Sleep Sofa Joe voted for a fence too?
Let me tell you something, folks. People are driving across that border with tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin.
And listening to Sleep Sofa talk about the same issues I have with illegal aliens is just kind of laughable.
It's all coming up through corrupt Mexico.
Joe Biden mentions the drugs. He mentions illegal aliens coming across the border. And he wants 700 miles of fence. No problem. He's not a xenophobe. He's not a racist. You call Trump whatever you want. That's the problem. You guys just make up your fake news. What do we have next? Anything left?
Former presidents have said to him that they wish that they had built a wall. Do you recall President Obama ever saying that?
Come on. Bumbling Biden. At it again. Look, guys, you could tell it's a double talk situation with Biden. Everybody before me wanted a wall. Remember when Schumer said ineffective wall?
Construction of a 630-mile border fence create a significant barrier to illegal immigration on our southern land border.
So let me get this straight. In 2009, a fence is significant, but in 2020, a wall is ineffective? Really? Everybody before me wanted a wall. Trump gets it done.
I sit here and I'm in awe of what comes out, guys. I just see Dag. Dag said this stuff is nuts. It's so true. Here's the thing is I love finding old stuff now. This is my new thing is we have to be sleuths. We have to sleuth out old content. I think one of my favorite things, I just want to play this over so you guys can see.
It's Hammerlin Jamison live from the studio. Donald Trump with episode 9 of the Donald Trump.
We're going to pull this off in a second, but check this out. It makes me laugh really hard.
Episode 9 of the Donald Trump Show. That's right. We're going to get into it today.
Here we go.
I've got a lot to share with you. Border wall. Everybody's always saying, Trump, when are you going to build the border wall? We're building the wall. But they gave me such a hard time.
Here we go.
Such a hard time.
The President of the United States, having failed to get Mexico to pay for his ineffective, unnecessary border wall.
We'll get back to Schubert.
I love that because ineffective. You know what? If you watch that, and this is where I talk about fake news, if you watch that entire address that they made to the nation that day, they said, we're here to dispel and to give you some truth. And the first thing they said is that the wall is ineffective and it's a selfish endeavor and all this garbage. And then you see Schumer say in 2009 that they're asking for funding for a very necessary border wall or border fence they wanted to do at the time. I'm with Pelosi. Look, I'm with Pelosi. Oh, I should have put that. You're right. No, I think it's better the way we did it because nobody would understand it the way we write it. I'm with Pelosi 1,327% people. But yeah, we have to figure out how to get Donald to see these. I think he would flip out. First of all, I think he'd like my impression because in a way I'm flattering him. Is this what he'd probably want to say most times to people? I think he just wants to react to everybody. What's that, stupid? No, keep going. You're doing great. Do you ever see that clip where he's talking to the lady and she's like, well, the news says that it's 17 and he goes, no, keep going. Get it out. You going to get it out? Yeah, keep going. Try again. You're not going to run this, I know anyway, because you're terrible. He's like, because this is absolutely the worst. You're terrible. You're first rate, or 12th rate. What is the rates? I don't know how the rates go. Oh, Sleep Sofa Joe, guys. I'm telling you, I'm worried because this guy won't come out of his basamente, and when he does, he's doing weird stuff like taking a knee in a street with 3 people standing around taking photos of him. Look, I'm Sleep Sofa Joe. I'm gonna go by this manhole and take a knee, pretend like I'm saying a prayer. But really, I gotta take a piss. I'm gonna just do it in this manhole. There's a small spot there. I could probably shoot the stream. Sleep Sofa Streaming Biden. I don't know what the hell that is. Taking a knee for the press in the middle of the street. They called Colin Kaepernick, but he couldn't come down. He wasn't able to meet with Sleep Sofa. That's another case right there. That is another case. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything about this guy. And look, I think the data just does not support the cause. The data does support saying that all lives matter, like every life matters. Let's be a little bit more, let's be a little bit more coherent to every single person that maybe not getting the same opportunities. However, I think that there's a false narrative here completely. We uncovered this with Ryan the other day here on the show. Right now, you're at a disadvantage if you happen to have white skin. I'm sorry to say it. It's so true. Right now, if there's a job and there's a woman and there's someone else in Paul, if there's a Hispanic man and then there's Paul who's a white man, it's either the Hispanic or the woman that's getting the job. And the idea of diversity has gone so overboard now where the qualified person doesn't get the job anymore. They have to fill a certain amount. It's a weird thing that this world has become. I saw a great clip today. I told you guys, America already is the most socialist country in the world. The way we've been, we give and we open our arms to people if they come in the right way. So the idea that we're saying we want to be socialist, no, we're already doing that. We need to stay American. We need to stop giving up our values, and we need to stop telling people that it's okay to burn flags, and that what we're doing doesn't matter, and that, you know, staying positive is the thing. Everything that has happened that's positive, when you see him throwing sand on positivity, you know there's something wrong. Paul says he gets the job because he's beautiful. And look, that may be the case. But I would say, and again, this is no offense intended, but just think about it. It's true. Ryan was fired because of his beliefs, basically, I think. And the hypocrisy there is that if he was Mexican, or if he was Guatemalan, if he was Brazilian, if he was anything else, he would have been able to sue. But because he's a white man, no case. And the lady says it on the interview. She goes, it's a shame, but nobody has the back of a white man anymore. Well, that's an interesting statement right there. Because what's going on in the streets right now is saying the complete opposite, that there's white privilege. We discussed this yesterday. There's no such thing as white privilege. There is something called privilege. And when you had pioneers and giants like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm King making change like they did in the 60s, and leveling out the playing field when someone like Barack Obama comes along and becomes the president of the United States, not for one term of 4 years, but he's voted in twice, which means that the racism card should be over. Okay? I don't want to hear it. We voted him in twice. So what are you talking about? You can't go back to racism just because it fits the narrative of trying to make Trump look worse. Look at the facts. Look at the video, guys. Don't look at clips from CNN. You're seeing from these people, they create what they want. It's so easy to take a clip. I could have cut down those clips and made Lemonhead look even worse, but I let him speak. I don't want to cut out the intro so you couldn't see what he said prior, but that's what they do on CNN. Imagine this statement. Ready? Listen to this.
Mexico has the greatest civilians on the planet. They're all phenomenal. Well, most of them. There's a few. Some of them come across with drugs. We don't like those. And some of them are thugs. And we're going to crack down on that. Come through legally, you know. But we don't like felons. We don't want the criminals. I'm sure some of them are good, too.
What they say is,
they're sending drug dealers and criminals.
Donald Trump's a racist. And it's a ridiculous thing. If you actually watch the entire clip, he doesn't have a problem with Mexicans. In fact, if you watch today, they just signed a historic deal with Mexico, and he values the relationship with Mexico. So again, your narrative is BS. Go and watch the real news. Go and just see what's going on, guys. The amount of bills. I saw something brilliant today on Facebook. Because I had someone recently say, what has Trump done anyway? I can't wait to get him out. This guy said, yeah, what has Trump done anyway? He goes, well, let's go through it. And he laid it. It was like 4 pages long of stuff. And it was all really powerful stuff. I almost want to read it to you. I don't think I could find it anymore. But it was so cool to see. I was like, this is pretty much ridiculous. Let me see if there's a way to find it. I don't know how I could find that, to be honest, guys. It just happened to pop on the screen, and I was like, that's insane. But when you see stuff like priests getting beat up on the streets with brass knuckles, like, what is going on in this world? And you guys are okay with that? And you're okay with Facebook and with Microsoft and everybody skewing this next election? What about if next time it's the candidate that you want and they're doing it to that candidate? You'll care about it then. I'm looking for this thing. I don't think I could find it though. You know, it's funny. They look around at the cases around the world, and everybody's got like 200 cases. We got 57,000 cases a day. It's insane. It's insane. But I also don't know if all of them are real cases or if it's just people thinking they have it. And they're like, yeah, you sound like you have it. We're going to call you a case. All right, let's see what we have here. I can't find it. I was going to look for it and see if I can play it for you because it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool, guys. Let's see. I got to save that over here. But yeah, we're going to continue on as far as what I'm going to do now. Okay, I'm going to take these 10 episodes and I'm going to lock them down as one show. That's right. We rock here at Real Talk 1,327%. So what we should do here is this. I'm going to play you guys a quick tune. I got to get a BeatSeat done. I have one done. I just have to clean it up for tomorrow for a gentleman. Very excited about this guy. He's awesome. Yeah, you know, I try, Paul. I send them in, but like, I think because it's me, I don't know. They don't go anywhere. Like, I've tried every time I post on Twitter. I do @RealDonaldTrump. I do @POTUS. And I never get extra hits. You know, I think you got to have views first. You got to have people who are connected to him. But I think if one person who knows the dude, who's able to retweet it and has enough viewers to watch it, especially that one about Don Lemon, that one's got to get out. But the entire episode is going to be fire. And imagine if I could do like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those and make a season of Donald Trump show where it's like 6 1-hour episodes of all of that, like 10 episodes each. So it'd be essentially 60 face swap Donald Trump clips for over a 6. I mean, I could probably even do short seasons and do like 3. You know what I mean? And just keep going and cut them into 4s or something like that and do 15-minute seasons. No, that's stupid. I think it's got to be full 1-hour episodes, right? Because we got to take this sucker somewhere. Let's play a little something here. Yeah. Yeah, I really think you know it's going to be. Yeah, Dagger, when I get that thing up tomorrow morning, I'll send it all to you guys, okay? And I think what we need to do is... Yeah, I think if we could somehow get around, you got to get to somebody who knows how to get to Trump. That's the way to do it. And you got to go back. Like, it's so funny that full. I think maybe it's the thing is get him the hour episode. He'll watch an hour of himself doing like stuff like that. I think he'd like it. Imagine if we can get him on the show, really. Guys, I got Donald Trump on the show today. Donald, how are you? Hey, Mark. I want to just jam on something for a minute here. I say you love me while I say all love me. Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I'll never use that love. Take my arms, I'll never use that. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that can cry. How can I go on without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cry. Whoa, 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 whoa. How can I go on without you? You took the part that once was my heart, yeah. So why not take all of me? All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that grab me to go. How can I go on without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take hold of me? Oh, say, why not take hold of me? One more time, people. I say, why not take hold of me? AOC, mini AOC, I saw that. Bull Dagger, you rock, brother. That'd be pretty funny to have her on. You know, I could do Trump. We could be like a debate between me and mini AOC. Look, mini AO, look, I want to talk to you just for a moment. What's this thing about the new green? Did you drop a poop? Did you do a poop in the toilet? The mini Green Deal? Is it a big deal, though? If we have to call the janitor, it could be a problem. I don't want to have to do that, mini AOC. It could wind up being a plunger situation, and I don't have one. I don't want to spring for a new plunger. Okay, that's just where I am on it, mini AOC. Okay, you could roll up your sleeves and see how you do. I think you got small hands. Some people say I have small hands, but it's not true. Look, they're huge. I have magnificent hands. In fact, I was approached once by a talent scout. They said, look, I love your hands. What's your name? I said, Donald Trump. They said, could I use your hands for a photo? I said, yeah, $1 billion. They walked away. It's a good story. Anyway. I know, right? She probably does have to ask her parents. Look, I think most people will want to tune in and see what the show's about and see if they're going to be like in a confrontational situation or if it's going to be a positive thing. I think even too, some people you lead with that dagger. Like when you get in touch with someone like that, you could be like, oh, you know, mini AOC, you're hilarious. Oh, you should come on and you could have a debate with Real Talk Donald Trump or something like that. And it would be monumental or something like that. We could have a conversation together. Mini AOC, how are you? I'm so glad to have you on the program. Look, just have one question for you. Do you know what 2 + 19 is? 21, that's right. Good for you. I'm proud of you. I didn't think you had that one. Yeah, exactly. That's probably the best way to do it because it's just the funny thing is people most times are feeling like it's a hit piece, right? And this is just an open forum. I think you said that best with our buddy Real. I don't want to say who Real is, but if you can get Real on here. Oh, my goodness. That guy's one of my favorites. Oh, Dagger, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on an impression of him. We're going to do a face swap of him. Oh, my goodness. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Oh, yeah, good idea. Dagger, think about that. That's crazy. I can't wait. Mariam's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night, getting a chance to hear some more from her.
I hear that road train rolling, rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sun shining. I don't know where or will I stuck in Folsom Prison. That's where I want to stay. And then people keep moving under the same home. Well, I bet there's rich folks eating in their fancy dining cars, probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. I know how they come in, I know I can be. And then people keep moving, I'm down to saying and don't. Rich folks eating in their fancy dining cars, probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I ain't coming, I know I can't. Well, them people keep moving on down the sand and bass line in there. What do you say? I forgot this guitar fell on the ground. Got the bass line sorted there, let's just go with that.
San Antonio. Hear that train rolling, rolling around the bend. I've seen the sunshine since I don't know where I'm stuck in for some present, baby. Wind and the sun, yeah. And them people keep moving on down to San Antonio. Woke up this morning, real talking on a Friday night. I'll see my man Paul on. He says the hypocrisy is a madness, yeah. And Dagger says it belongs to prevent you from telling them your condition, yeah. We kept going, tell them you got a medical condition that prevents you from wearing a mask in public, yeah, they can. That's where that piece goes, mister. Oh, and now the world keeps going crazy. Looking around the wild world, looking around, people lost the day mind, but I'm gonna keep on shining light on the darkness. We're gonna break the chain, yeah. Friday night, feeling right. We try episode 10 of the Donald Trump Show tonight. And gangsta can't stop back in and say what's up, man. I say what's up, that's cool. All you gotta do is say hello. Be a part of the song with me. We're gonna make a song and see it's just a Friday night. What a crazy world we're living in. I think that everyone lost the dang mind. I can't figure out why there's no center line. It's just the people left and right, and they're all freaking crazy. So we drop these Trump clips to break the ice, 'cause people, well, they ain't being so nice. 2020 got the corona thing. We got people trying to take a swing on the streets. We got a chippy chappy chest chop. What the hell's going on in Seattle, y'all? This is America. If you don't like it, you can get the hell out. Because our arms are wide open for love, but we're kick you out. And if you got malice in your heart, then all I see is out. Think about that. Cause it's America, yo. You don't like it, you can get the hell out. Wear the flag on your sleeve, wear your flag in your heart. Share the love of the world, make people feel better. Don't take them down like that message that they got going around. Call it the negative, just shut it down, and turn on the Real Talk Show. I'm with you every day, forever, yeah. Shut the negative down, it's bringing you down. We made episodes about sleep, Sofa Joe, and poison, that's right. Then we finished up with the Don Lemon episode. We called it How Sour Is That Don Lemon Over There? It's pretty damn sour. If you watch this thing, you're gonna say, holy freaking cow. That's right, it's crazy, people. But you see the lemonhead, he puts his face in it this time. And he's going to sound like pretty much the biggest hypocrite in the history of time. But that's what we're here to do every day on the Real Talk Show. It's Donald Trump singing along. That's right, we're winning big league. We're winning big league. A little Dylan in there too, right? We're winning big league. That's right, gonna win in big league. Going to win, that's right. Shut down the negative, turn on Real Talk. Melania will come by too, just not on the gold toilet. Shut the negative down and keep that positive going strong. That's how we started with Folsom Blues, and then we went into some improv. My buddy Furman had this. I was dropping all positivity for like 318. And Furman goes, Mark inspires. It's like, whoa. I throw INS in the front of my name. So there's a segment of the show called The Mark Inspires. And it's when we just create a song like that in real time, which we just did. Hopefully you enjoyed that song. And guys, I don't know. I'm kind of getting prepared for tomorrow with Mary M. Looking forward to that. I'm curious if you want to see any of the episodes. If you're on and you say, I didn't see episode blah, blah, let me know. I'll play one or two more before we go for the eve. And tomorrow I'll be back and we'll have Mary M on and we'll get into some real topics. Oh my goodness. Listen, one of these days, guys, maybe in 5 years, who knows? I'll be here every day until someone's like, hey, I want you to go to the Albuquerque. I'll put on a show, a real talk show there at the Coliseum in Albuquerque. Be like, okay, I'm going to go and try that taco shop that Paul mentioned. Remember, guys, if you're ever in New Jersey, I know the greatest donut place in the history of time. Okay. Oh my goodness. The ad-libbing is my favorite. I love just improvising and going off on something, seeing what kind of magic happens. Joyzy. That's right, Dagger. Dagger knows. The Jersey, I mean, I'll tell you what. OBCO, OBCO, greatest place in the world if you're ever looking for, the best donut in the history of time. So I think what we should do here, what do you guys think about if I start either from number 1 and go all the way to 10, or do you want me to keep going backwards? What do you think? Let me hear from you real quick. Shoot me what your preference would be. Should I start all the way at 1 and so you could see the progression of how we did this? We start from episode 1 of the Trump Show, and we spend the next 45 minutes going through each one of these episodes, detailing what we picked up, what we're shining a light on. What do you think? I could actually try to do the idea I have in mind, where in between we do the little bits. It might not be a bad idea, is to try to record it right now. You know what I mean? Like, so guys, shout out! And I could put on Hammerlin's mustache a couple of these. Jersey Mike's is pretty solid. All right, what do you guys think? Should we start from the top? If we do, what I'm thinking actually is starting with ripping on Biden, which was a prequel. It was the prequel to the Trump Show. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, tomorrow, Dagger. That'll be up tomorrow morning. I haven't heard of Amy's, Paul, but I'll tell you what. Obco, it's worth a trip to Jersey for that one. All right, so what do you guys think? I want to hear from you right now. Should I start from the Ryden Biden bit and go from there, and so you could see this entire progression? I'm almost thinking the Ryden Biden bit may be a bonus bit at the very end. So we'll do the 9 episodes, or I could just change the intro and just do Ryden Biden as another episode. Don't you, I mean, really, I could do that. Just call it Trump Show, and it was the very first episode of Trump Show, or do episode 11 or something like that as the Biden episode. Let me know what you think of that, because actually I didn't think about that. Maybe what I'll do is make it 11, and I'll include the Ryden Biden bit. Ooh. You guys are talking about donuts, which I love. But what do you think about, should I play the Trump bits, or should I play something else? That's the other thing. You want me to play something else besides the Trump stuff? We've been doing that like crazy. Maybe I should just play some other stuff. We've done so much crazy stuff here in this program. It's freaking unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I'm just looking through some of these clips right now. I got everything in here. Pacino, Walken, Dr. Evil stuff, Big Lebowski, Unsolved Mysteries, Norm Macdonald. Wow. And then we got the Trump episodes, which is my new favorite thing, just because we've been doing them so much. Polarizing. Dinner with Norm. Yay. You know, I'm not exactly sure what Miriam wants to get into, but I'm hoping that she finalizes her work on the George Floyd conspiracies that she had. And also, I want to talk to her about this bit with the Don Lemon. I want to let that develop because, you know, what I find very interesting about Miriam is she said that she started off as a liberal until she started looking at the content, really looking at the entire, this is where I thought about this. If people just watched every speech from the first word till the end and make their own judgment, don't watch the byline. Because especially when you did Mount Rushmore last week, and it was a very passionate American angled speech, and for them to say there was any racist tones at all is mental. But honestly though, Dagger, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, I want to talk about the censorship issue, my concern about how we blew this whole thing out of proportion for 3 years about Russia messing with our elections, China, but nobody gives a crap about what's going on right this second by Facebook and Google and Microsoft, and they're all censoring conservative information in order to propel votes towards the Democratic side. They're shifting all their energy towards fake news. They're pushing all of their stamina towards a narrative that doesn't even exist. They've just made us believe it. They made us believe it. Oh my goodness. You think the one I made is the one with the Don Lemon's Extreme? You think that one's a 180 from all the other stuff I did? That's what I fear a little bit. That's what I fear a little bit because it definitely is. It's coming from, I mean, look. Yeah, we may want to get into that, Dagger, too. Health-related issues, especially now with what's going on. Talking about the efficacy or the effectiveness of masks, how they work. But I'm thinking this, guys. We're going to just have a nice conversation like we always do. Oh, yeah, you're right. There's a huge 180 the way CNN changed course. You liked episode 2 the best. Okay, Paul liked episode 2 the best, so that tells me something. I was waiting for someone to tell me where to start. So we're going to start from the beginning, and we're going to go up, and Paul likes number 2 the best. That's the one where we say, and we wonder if Sleep Sofa Joe's going to fall asleep on camera. I love that part. I think so, too. You're right, Dagger. Paul, I love it, brother. I'm glad you like episode 2. I like them all, but because they all have these little clips in there. Okay, my favorite thing about, I think one of my favorite parts about episode 1 is when I talk about smokestacks. Just keep that in mind. A little bit, buddy. It's been a long couple of weeks of shows. Like literally, I don't get much sleep. So when I stay up, here's just an example. Some of the nights when we're up till 2, 3 in the morning, it used to be great because I could sleep in. But I have kids, and those 3 kids get up really early, and they wake me up. So if I get to sleep at, say, sometimes it's been 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm getting up at 7, 7:30. And that was one of those things that happened last night. Dagger, I think you're right. Aunt Judy. Yeah, my Aunt Judy told me to resurrect her, that she could be the second resurrection. And I said, look, the people out there seem to think Sleep Sofa Joe is second coming. Let's let it happen. You know what, Dagger? It's an interesting thing. Like, I'm so dedicated to this, to you guys, to like coming out here and putting on a good show, that I just find the time. And that's why I say sometimes I'm up late. Like, it's 12:12 right now, right? Like, even if we stay on till 1. From 1 o'clock till 2, I'm going to be working on that BeatSeat because I got to deliver it tomorrow. That's why I'm almost finishing too, because I got to go over and do that BeatSeat. But I really got to get this show on like a better time so I can come on. Like, I really feel like the best time for the show would be like 5 p.m. every day Eastern time, and hit it right at 5 until like 8, 5 to 8. You know what I mean? Finish up, go up, put my kids to sleep. And if we didn't get through it all, I'll come back on at 10:30, 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? Paul, you're funny. That's so true, Paul. You're absolutely right. Pat, how are you, buddy? I think we have to start for Pat here. But Paul, you're right. That's also my main reason, too, for wanting to get the show earlier so I could spend more nights with my wife. She goes to sleep somewhat early, but it would be nice to, or, like I said, come on at 5, and then if we didn't get through everything, when she goes to bed, I come back on, even if it's at 11:30 or midnight. You know what I mean? Yeah, my wife is awesome, but she does think that, like, she's like, look, you can miss a day. She says stuff like this. She'll be like, you can miss a day. If you go on vacation, you don't need to broadcast while you're on vacation. But my mentality is I got to put on a show every day. I got to leave a message, and she respects that. And we always have our time before the show because the kids go to sleep early enough for that. But it would be nice to not have to leave while she's still up. You know what I mean? And for now, because I'm quarantined, this is where the time has gone back to, which is 10:30. It used to be 5 o'clock when I was at my studio. My office, my real estate office. They built a studio for me there. It's all this backdrop and everything, but it was set up there. And that's where I'd broadcast every day, sometime between 3 and 5 every day. And I'd go live. I'd play 1 song on the BeatSeat, maybe 2 songs. We did that for months until the quarantine. So eventually when we get back to me being in my office every day, not in my basement, I'll probably be on at 5. And I hope you guys can adjust to your schedule to make it work. And I'll be on for a long time, so don't worry about it. If I drop something, we'll get back going. Yeah, Dag, I wish. You know, here's the funny thing. I have no problem servicing this world on a daily basis with positivity, but my wife has no interest in being on camera, sharing pictures of our family. Like, there's no pictures of my family. You get no pictures of, I mean, there's some pictures of my wife, but no pictures of my family, my kids, because it's a crazy world, guys. She says stuff like, you want to put yourself out there, that's fine, but we're not, you know, just private, very private. And that's different than me, obviously. I don't keep anything private. No, she never does. So I gotta say, it's kind of an interesting thing. I always dated women that were so overboard, like into me, where I was like turned off. Does that make sense? And I wouldn't be able to just be free and creative with those people because they were so, like, they needed so much energy, so much attention. And I think that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with my wife immediately, was that she was her own person, independent, has her own interests. She runs the BeatSeat business. You know, she runs my invention. So she's working, I always say that, like when I'm here with you guys, she's sometimes emailing people late into the night. She's still like working on new contacts for us to sell BeatSeats. The BeatSeat I have to get done because of a sale she made. She sold 18 BeatSeats last month. She's on fire. So, I mean, I got to say, she's like the greatest, you know, business partner in the world, and she's amazing. I love her. I mean, the facts are I would not be able to do this if I didn't have that woman in my life. It wouldn't be possible with another woman. They would all be like, no, I need money. And my wife's like, look, you believe you have a mission. She's seen the show. She knows what I'm doing is there's a course here. She sees the passion behind what I'm doing and that I'm dedicated to this. So she doesn't hinder it. She's like, look, do what you need to do, you know? Yeah, the perfect combo, absolutely. And the beautiful thing about quarantine right now is that I'm home with them all day. I mean, granted, we're always moving around. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm still working, but there's a lot of time during the day I'm with them, which I never had when I was working from the office. So that's a cool thing, too. Yeah, the whole family. At the end of the day, the most important thing in this world is my family, and that is why I'm doing this every day. It's a weird thing. Like, obviously, I think this is an extremely long road, but I think my vision here is real estate is a lot of fun. I anticipate I'll always keep my real estate license. That's the best way I could say it. But I don't think I'll be doing that forever. And my hope is that I can find a way to find somebody who's like, look, I want to figure out how to take this somewhere, okay? Make this your thing. So you could, instead of spending a couple hours here to make these clips on a daily basis, spend more time and make more. And actually put together one of those 1 hour clips like every day, but like, you know what I mean? Imagine if I could sit there and make 10 episodes in a day instead of in a week and a half, because I can't. I'm doing one a day, and that would be unbelievable. Yeah, that's exactly right. Dagger's like, someone's got to pay the bills. And that's the bottom line. The beautiful thing about what's happening here with Real Talk is we're connecting. You guys continue to spread the word. We're bringing more people in. We will eventually connect with the world. It's just going to take a very long time, and I'm fine with that. And then from there, we'll be, this is my fear. I'm dropping so much content that no one's ever going to see any of this stuff, guys. Like, it's just going to disappear because there's so much coming at you. It will only be seen when I stop doing it. And people go back to look at all the stuff that's been done, because there's a ridiculous amount of content. I can't believe I'm creating so much content. Not that it's all good, but I'm just throwing a lot out there. You know what I mean? It's throwing at the wall, seeing what sticks. I feel like a lot of it's really good, but it's my stuff, so I don't know if it's good or not. I have no idea. You know? You know when that happens, like you're too close to it? I'm too close to it, guys. What's going on with my thing here? This is weird. I got this plugged in, and it says that my battery's at 20%. How the hell has that happened? How's it happened, people? It doesn't make any sense. So, listen, let's do this. I'm going to fill up my coffee. All right? I'm going to start this off at episode 1, and we're going to work our way up, okay? Should I do the Bumbling Biden? This is the first... Okay. This is, first of all, before we get through the first 10 episodes, I want to play the prequel. Here we go. This is the prequel to Donald Trump Show.
Hammerlin Jamison live from the studio. Donald J. Trump takes Joe Biden down a notch. Look, I've got to tell you, I'm completely in awe. It's like the Twilight Zone we're living in right now. Do you see the sleep sofa? I mean, everything he does, I'm just totally blown away by. Did you see this clip? Check this one out. This will blow your mind.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. they'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Exactly. I mean, Sleep Sofa Joe talking about his white hair on his legs is kind of weird, right? But no, people love him for it. And how about this one?
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know.
I don't even understand how people could continue to support Joe Biden. He's halfway through the first sentence and he forgets what he's talking about. He's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just kind of sitting here. Look, we're going to be in trouble if you have Sleep Sofa Joe in as president. Let's check out this final clip.
Unnecessarily, now we have over 120 million dead from COVID.
Can you believe this? Can you believe Sleep Sofa Joe? 120 million? Really, Sleep Sofa? That's probably how many people would have died if Hillary Clinton had won, or if Sleep Sofa Joe was in charge of the country. It's 120,000, which is 120,000 too many. You could thank the G-hole. That's right, President G-hole. It's all his fault, and we're going to get him to pay. Big league, I'm going to send him a bill, and with it will be a huge stamp right across the center that says, you're a G-hole.
So that was the intro. That was the prequel to what we eventually got to, which is episode 1 of the Donald Trump show, which happened the very next night. So I did that, and then I started the first of what's been 10 episodes in a row. We're going to go through them all right now, guys. Hope you enjoy them. Here we go. Paul likes episode 2 the best. Let's see what we got. Here's episode 1, starting it off. Hammerlin Jamison.
Hammerlin Jamison introducing episode 1 of the Donald J. Trump Show. Look, I want to thank you for joining me on a brand new episode of the Donald Trump Show. That's right. We're going to be here every week delivering truth about the Biden campaign because no one's telling you what's really going on. I'm going to pull back the curtain and you're going to see what Joe Biden is really up to. Here we go.
We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts.
Will somebody please alert Mr. Biden that truth and facts are the same thing? I think he's been watching too much fake news on CNN. Okay, what else do we have from this blubbering train wreck?
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other Biden. Give me a look, though, okay?
Now, first of all, who's the other Biden? Who is the other Biden? I'm wondering, because if it's Hunter Biden, he'll be in jail. But if there's another Biden, perhaps he can actually complete a sentence. That Biden I'd like to hear from. Okay, let's see what else we've got.
Trust.
Like his strange hold on Defense Secretary Ash Carter's wife, Stephanie.
Sleep Sofa Joe has been doing this for years. He's a creeper. And we're going to put a stop to him.
I like the way your hair smells. Let me give you a little kiss here.
And can you believe? Look at how he's touching that little girl. Honestly, I'm a little worried about that little girl. Sleep Sofa Joe has been doing all kinds of racist things for years. I'm just going to show you a few of the clips. Take a look at this one, for example.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Look, I'm surprised you guys are fine with hearing Joe Biden say you need an Indian accent in order to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I've been to Dunkin' Donuts many times. I don't have an Indian accent. But let's continue on. I have a lot more to play for you. Now check out this clip, for example.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Racist Joe strikes again. Poor kids are just as talented and bright as white kids? What does that even mean? This is getting good, guys. What's next?
Play the radio. Make sure make sure you have the record player on at night.
Really, Joe? That's a good idea. We'll get the record player out. How about we go and actually light a fire and we do smoke signals? How about that? What do we have next from Sleep Sofa Joe?
Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
all men and women created by go. You know the thing.
The question is, do you know the thing, Joe? Do you know the thing, Sleep Sofa Joe? The thing, Joe, is that we are all created equal. That's right, God is the creator of all, not Satan and your adrenochrome. Okay, let's get one more at least. How about one more?
I'm not going to be a mule. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
Did Sleep Sofa Joe just say he has to go do a poop-a-doop? I think he said it right in front of his crowd. I would never say that right in front of my crowd. If I'm going to take a poop-a-doop, I'm doing it on my own time, not in front of people. I don't know. It's a little weird there. Look, let's give him a chance to redeem himself. One more, okay?
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Wow. Really? Look, I'm not sure what else to say after watching that ridiculousness. But that's Sleep Sofa Joe. Are you going to vote for that guy? How about you? Look, if that's the case, this world's crazy.